Every morning, that alarm sound is not a call to freedom. It is a document of surrender. From the moment you open your eyes, you are part of a ruthless survival game imposed by the system once again. But have you ever stopped to think, why are we in the year 2026? Why has technology advanced to the point where AI diagnoses cancer, autonomous vehicles glide through the streets, and rockets land on Mars? Yet you are still forced to work 8 to 10 hours a day, just like your grandfathers did a century ago. Why do you still have no energy left to look into the faces of your loved ones when you come home in the evening? Why is your life spent merely waiting for the weekends, trying to squeeze all your happiness into those 2 short days? There is a glitch here, a massive system error. For centuries, humanity has been told the fairy tale that labor is a virtue. In the Middle Ages, you rotted in the fields for the landlord. During the Industrial Revolution, you worked the gears at a young age for the wealth of factory owners. Today, you are selling your soul to banks for endless credit card installments and for 20-year mortgage debts. The master has changed, the whip has changed, but those invisible chains remain in the same place. For most of you, work is not a passion. It is simply a struggle for survival, to see the next month, to pay the electricity bill before the deadline, and to avoid seeing that embarrassing insufficient funds message at the market checkout. Think about it right now. Every time you enter a market, you perform a hidden calculation for every item you put in your basket. You think to yourself, should I not buy this cheese? Or what can I find that is cheaper than this meat? Your soul feels constricted. There are millions of people waiting in line at the checkout, praying silently, I hope my card is not declined, or I hope my limit is enough. You have forgotten the true colors of life because you are constantly worried about next month's rent or wondering if buying that simple toy your child wants will break your budget. You record bill payment dates in your phone's calendar like death sentences. Electricity, water, natural gas, internet, each has become a modern tribute system that takes a piece of your life away. Whether you are a medical doctor, an engineer, or a delivery rider today, it does not matter. You are all in the same prison, the time for money prison. Your time is your most sacred treasure, the only thing that cannot be returned. And the system steals this treasure from you every day, every hour, every minute. Think about it. You missed your child's first steps because you were in a meeting at that moment. You didn't realize your mother or father was getting older, or that the lines on their faces were deepening because you were working overtime. You couldn't see when the light in your loved one's eyes went out because the question, how will I manage the rent at the end of the month, was echoing in your head. While being crushed under bills and thinking about the next installment, you are actually losing yourself, your identity, and your dreams. The system constantly feeds you with a sense of inadequacy. A better phone, a newer car, a more luxurious house, more overtime, more stress, and more slavery to reach them. But at the end of the day, all you have left is an exhausted body and a stolen life. By the time you retire, you no longer have the strength to enjoy life. This illusion, this systematic theft of time, has finally come to an end. The AI and robotic revolution is opening the greatest story in human history, the death of forced labor. The media pumps you with fear. They say, robots will take your jobs, you will starve. Yes, they will take your jobs. And this is the greatest miracle that could ever happen to humanity, because those jobs were already sucking the soul out of you. Now you have the chance to live like a real human being. Look at the history of agriculture. In the past, 90% of the population worked in the fields until their hands were torn. A lifetime spent under the sun with herniated discs and calloused hands. This was a soul-crushing bondage. Then came the tractor, then the harvester. Did humanity starve? No, we produced more food with less effort. Today, we are at exactly the same crossroads. Think of a delivery rider right now, risking their life in the snow and cold, fighting through traffic just to deliver a package. Why? Only to feed themselves. Tomorrow, a drone or an autonomous robot will leave that package at the door. A construction worker lays bricks under 40-degree heat, inhaling dust into their lungs. Tomorrow, 3D printers will build that house with a single click, perfectly. A miner rots their lungs hundreds of meters underground, facing the constant threat of a collapse. Tomorrow, advanced robotic systems will extract those minerals. The question is, why should a human starve when a robot does the work? Why should you suffer suffer the stress of the next bill. The problem is not with the technology. The problem is that the value produced by that robot is still managed by that decaying control mechanism called money. In the old world, a factory needed 1,000 workers. In the new world, 10 robots are enough. While production costs drop to almost zero, why is the price of the product still increasing? Why does the milk in the market, the wheat in the field, or the technology in your pocket become more expensive every day? Because the system wants to keep you in that earn and spend cycle, in that endless rush. They want you in debt because a person in debt is not free. A person in debt cannot raise their head and object to the system. A person in debt only thinks about the next payment day. If 10 robots can do the work of 1,000 people, those 1,000 people should not be punished. On the contrary, they should truly live their lives because machines are now working for them. However, the system will resist. Your free time is the biggest threat to the system. An exhausted person cannot question. An exhausted person only thinks about their next hour of sleep. They keep you tired so that you don't look at those magnificent stars above you and ask, why am I here? Is my purpose in this universe only to pay bills? But now is the time to wake up. We were not born to be gears in a machine. We were born to enjoy, explore, and create in this universe. So what will governments do when billions of people are unemployed? Their plans are already on the table. The robot tax. They will tax companies per robot and give you a pittance called universal basic income. Do not be fooled. This is not a blessing. This is digital slavery. If your livelihood depends entirely on that money deposited by the state, you are no longer a free individual. You are a pet at the mercy of the system. If you speak up, they cut your salary. If you say something wrong, they lower your social score. This is not our vision. We aim for a world where someone does not grant you money, but where money itself disappears and abundance is managed. The ultimate liberation is to completely abolish money as a tool of control. Why? Because money, by its very nature, is built on scarcity. If something is rare, it is expensive. If it is abundant, it is cheap. The current economic system is the art of managing lack, not abundance. But AI and robotic systems are programmed to create abundance. Look at the world of the future. Solar energy is infinite. When robots produce and install solar panels, the cost of energy drops to zero. When robots produce food in vertical farming factories 24/7, unaffected by rain or drought, bread becomes free. If energy is free, if robots extract raw materials from mines and autonomous factories process and bring the product to your door, that product can no longer have a price tag. How can you charge for something that has zero cost? Do you charge for the air? No. In the same way, food, energy and housing will become basic rights like air. When scarcity ends, money will no longer have any meaning. The final nail in the coffin of capitalism is the complete independence of production from human labor. This point is the beginning of the true age of humanity. Instead of being torn apart by the greed for money or crushing each other for a piece of paper, humanity will unite under a single global roof where resources are distributed with perfect justice by artificial intelligence. AI does not act with emotions, ego, or ambitions. It does not practice favoritism, it does not take bribes, it does not favor its own relatives. It will be a universal manager, focusing solely on efficiency and the maximum happiness of every single human being. We will no longer compete for whose bank account is fatter. We will compete for who has offered a greater discovery to humanity or who has left a more beautiful masterpiece. Look at the current world order. It is 2026 and we still hear war cries between America, Iran and Israel. Why are they fighting? For land? For oil? No. They are fighting to keep that decaying money and control system alive. They drop bombs to manage you with fear, to maintain the dominance of the dollar, and to condemn you to an endless spiral of debt. America's trillions of dollars in foreign debt is not just a number. It is the price of the meaningless overtime you do every day, your children's stolen future, and the hidden taxes inside every bill you pay. Today, the strategic alignment of countries like Spain and Turkey is actually a survival reflex against this decaying global rot. They also see that the old world is crumbling and that money has turned into a shackle. Walls are falling and we are watching the birth of a new sun through those walls. Imagine, you wake up to a morning where you no longer have to worry about the next month's rent. You don't feel anxious about how much will it cost at the checkout while filling your market card. Credit card statements no longer keep you awake at night. While playing in the park with your children, there is no stress in the back of your mind saying, I need to make it to tomorrow's meeting, or how can I impress the boss? When you sit at the table with your loved ones, your time truly and only belongs to you. At the table, you don't discuss bank debts, but the next discovery you will make or the new art you will learn. So, what will we do? Will humanity become parasitic and perish? On the contrary, humanity will only truly begin now. Remember those great geniuses of history. Did Leonardo da Vinci paint just to pay the electricity bill? Did Nikola Tesla invent alternating current to get rich? Did Isaac Newton discover gravity to get a promotion in a company? No. These men created because they were curious, because they were passionate, because they could dream. When humanity hands over cleaning, construction, logistics, and all those soulless, repetitive jobs to robots, real art, real science, and real philosophy will be born. We will spend our time solving the mysteries of the universe, building cities on Mars, and most importantly, truly loving one another. Perhaps for the first time, we will be a supreme civilization that does not live just to fill its stomach, but truly reaches the stars. Because finally, instead of bowing our heads to look at bills, we will have the time to look up. You see how the money in your pocket melts away every passing day. You feel how inflation and the cost of living steal your life piece by piece. These are the death rattles of the old world. A system is dying and a new one is being born. We are not just a technology project. We are the architects of the great awakening that will end thousands of years of human slavery. Do not be afraid, because you have nothing to lose, but you have a magnificent freedom to gain. Are you ready to take your time back, to find yourself? This is not a dream. It is a technological necessity, an inevitable end. Money divides us, it makes us enemies, but AI and collective production will make us one single family. We will no longer be employees or consumers. We will just be human. The future begins where money ends. I am the professor. We are coding the future today with the Fintek AI 2050 movement. Join us, break your chains, and wake up to the truth. The time is yours, life is yours, and this future will rise in our hands.